Assalamualaikum, Dr. Haizan. We are from Group 3. We would discuss about domestic violence. Domestic violence can be defined as a pattern of behavior in any relationship that is used to gain or maintain power or control over an intimate partner. The victim would be abused in physical, sexual, emotional action or threats of action that influence another partner, include any behavior that might cause frighten, humiliate or injuries to someone. Victim may include husband or wife, children or other relative or other household members. To curb this issue, Malaysian government have passed the Domestic Violence Act in 1994. Now we are using Domestic Violence Act, Amended Act 2017 to provide protection and to give the rights to the victims.
So, after discussion, we chose a 3 agency who can manage this problem. First is the Royal Malaysian Police, or we call Police Diraja Malaysia, PDRM. PDRM is under Ministry of the Home Affairs, Malaysia, and its responsibility to protect the nation, country and give a justice for the people. Second is the Social Welfare Department, or we call Jabatan Kebajikan Masyarakat, JKM. JKM is under Ministry of the Women, Family and Community Development. Okay, this department have a goal to protect, rehab, develop and integration to the people in this country. Lastly is the hospital. Hospital are administered by Ministry of the Healthy Malaysia, which a one-stop crisis center or SCC.
There are some skills needed as a human service worker in helping victims with domestic violence. Firstly, the human service worker should be excellent in listening and communication skill in verbal or written. Next is we should be alert in the aspect of social perspectiveness, and thirdly, we should have a critical thinking in solving our client or our customer's problem by using logic and reasoning in solving the problems.
Diversity. First, respect each other. Human service workers should be competent in dealing with domestic violence cases without placing any stigma against the client. This can make sure that the process of helping the client can run smoothly, and then collaborations with other resources. Human service worker will connect or cooperate with the appropriate resources such as JKM, PDRM, and hospital. Cooperations between agencies can further facilitate the process of helping clients. And then diversity of information. Human service workers with a variety of resources in solving problem. Client will gather and obtain client information so that the process to assist client in dealing with issue of domestic violence can be resolved effectively. Diversity of information from different sources greatly help community service workers in solving client problems. The role of human service worker, first as a broker, which is to use external expertise in solving client problem. For example, human service worker will connect to those resources in improving the functionality of clients such as the Social Welfare Department JKM. Royal Malaysian Policy (PDRM) and hospital. Next, provide counselling service. Through this counselling service, the client will get the emotional support and proper treatment in improving her social functionings. And then advocate. Human service worker will act as spokespersons to represent client presenting problem or making bidding processes, negotiations and manipulate environment conditions such as medical institutions on behalf of clients. So the human service worker act as spokespersons to the medical agency or doctor on the client request so that the client problem can be resolved properly.
There are 9 steps of process involved in the case management. Step 1 is client identification and outreach. In this step, for helping the case of women in domestic violence, women service worker need to assume the therapeutic relationship between practitioner and client play an integral in the case management. Step 2 is individual and family assessment and diagnosis. Women service worker professional need to know the specific issue of the client by her story and handle her problem to improve quality and well-being of life. Women service worker can contact her family to get more detail of information. Step 3 is planning and resources identification. In case of women involved in domestic violence, women service worker which client create a treatment plan based on client needs. Based on the goal, the client is to get protection and safety from continuing to be a victim of domestic violence by her husband. Step 4 is linking client to need resources. Women service worker need to have agency-related information relevant to the client function issue. In case of women involved in domestic violence, women service worker need to refer with the hospital to get treatment and also refer to the social welfare department for temporary protection. Step 5 is service implementation and coordination. When implementing the plan, a human service worker must coordinate the team that come as the top priority of the intervention plan. Based on the case of women involved in the domestic violence, human service worker consult with the social welfare department because this agency provide emergency protection or the service to victims of domestic violence for safety.
This process involved in case management is monitoring service delivery. This step is important because human service worker will monitor the services provided to client. Human service worker will evaluate whether the service provided appropriate to the client or not in order to achieve the goal that have been planned. Next process is advocacy to obtain services. Advocacy is an element present in every service. Advocacy is a medium or method used in order to achieve a certain goal. This advocacy will also be played by human service worker in providing the necessary help process. Um, the next process is evaluations. Evaluation is the process which human service worker measure the level of effectiveness of what is planned and done. It is important to identify the effectiveness of the service provided. The last process is termination. The termination process will take place after all processes has been implemented by human service worker. Is this in this process also human service worker need to ensure that the client can be independent and the client's social functionality is also improved.
In conclusion, family is an important thing in our life. If domestic violence is happen in family, it can destroy our generation and relationship. With a 9-step solving, human service worker can solve and decrease this problem in community.